Church, all this weekend we'll be flashing a special hotline number up on the screen and also on our YouTube page, on our all of our online media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, everywhere, for all of you hunters who miss a deer and just can't process the resulting depression. Or if you miss a deer and all the people in your deer camp start picking on you in your hunting club. We just want you to know as a church, we're here to help. We know that this can be such a stressful time of the year, the opening weekend of deer season. All the buildup, all the baiting and the things that you've done to get the deer to your spot, all the prep work, and you've watched all of those deer cam videos and looked at all the deer cam photos, and missing that prized big buck can be a traumatic event. And at Center Fork Baptist Church, we want you to know you aren't alone. Just ask Quinn Martin. He's one of our skilled counselors who understands the difficulty of missed deer depressive syndrome, otherwise known as M.D.D.S. So this weekend, if you miss a deer and you go over the cliff, remember, we're here, 1-800-777-MDDS. Don't suffer alone. One final thing. But if you miss a deer from 9:30 to 12:30 on Sunday morning, we will not help you with that one. All right, enough silliness. Let's get to the update. A new organizer cabinet is being installed today, part of our 4-year project. This will serve as a collection point for the ministries that we collect items for. Rod and Tanya also finished 2 new shelves and a cubby for our new organized and updated nursery, and so we're thankful for these ministry updates. Operation Christmas Child. Tonight, Wednesday night, our men's and women's Bible study and also our teens are going to be working to set up our Operation Christmas Child packing center there in the gymnasium, and that's all in preparation for Saturday's big event. From 1 o'clock until about 3 o'clock, we'll be packing over 300 boxes for Operation Christmas Child. So make sure to make plans this Saturday, 1 o'clock in the gymnasium for Operation Christmas Child. Also, Sunday, after we have our morning services, we're going to have a baptism on Sunday morning. Georgia Small is going to be baptized. Please pray for her. We're going to have our regular morning worship services. We'll have a short members meeting during that service. And after our day of Sunday school and worship, we're going to have a family fun day for our 1st through 6th graders. It kicks off right after church this Sunday in the gym. We'll serve hot dogs and chili for lunch and have an afternoon of games and singing, fellowship, and fun. So don't miss out on the Fall Festival. Also, next week, our MBSF Thanksgiving meal. They wanted me to remind you, or Susan Oliver wanted me to remind you, if you signed up to provide food for MBSF on the 18th, not tomorrow, but on the 18th, don't forget that we need your food by 9:30 on the 18th. And if you're sending it in a dish that you want returned, make sure that your name is on the dish so that we can get that back to you easily. Now, there are going to be some other updates on the screen and other announcements in just a moment, but let me give you just a few updates on some prayer requests. Bill Driggers did have leg surgery on Monday, and it did go well as it could. He is in recovery, and that recovery, of course, is slow because of his problems with his kidneys. But unfortunately, Etha and Jimmy and Lisa are all COVID positive. Now, thankfully, Bill is COVID negative. And that's great. We need to pray that continues. Pray for his kidneys and the dialysis that he's undergoing as he begins the process of trying to get that anesthesia out and the recovery begins. And then, of course, he's going to have a lot of rehab as he gets used to this new normal for him. So pray for Bill, Etha, Jimmy, Lisa, the whole family. Also, pray for our outreach, this fall fun day we're doing with our 1st through 6th graders. We're praying for our Sunday school teachers to be able to connect with students and also with their families. And we're really trying to rebuild this group and rebuild these ministries. So please pray for this event as we have this on Sunday afternoon. And finally, I forgot to have the members meeting at the end of our AM service this past Sunday. We'll handle this small bit of business at the beginning of worship this Sunday. And remember, it is just another recommendation from our finance team that we that we put another $25,000 towards our PRC, or our debt reduction, on the multipurpose building. So we'll take care of that on Sunday morning during the worship service. So here are the prayer requests and announcements. Stick around after these prayer requests and announcements for a word from the Word.
Hey church family, this is an exciting experience for me. I, Connor Shipman, get to come in front of you today and bring the midweek update. Today we're going to be going over John chapter 1, verses 10 through 13. Something about me, for those of you who don't know who I am. I joined the church about 3 years ago, and I surrendered to preach about a month and a half ago. So we're going to be able to experience this together. Without further ado, let me get into the passage. We're going to start in verse 10, go through 13, and then we're going to go through some applications for it and what each verse kind of breaks down into a meaning. So, he was in the world, and the world was made through him. Yet the world did not know him. He came to his own, and his own people did not receive him. But to all who did receive him, who believed in his name, he gave the right to become children of God, who were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. So today, for an overarching topic, we're going to be going over the grace of God and the grace of Jesus that is explained here in verses 10 through 13. Verse 10 starts out, he says, he was in the world and the world was made through him, yet the world did not know him. Well, this is very important because this isn't only just showing the grace, but it's the deity that Jesus is. He was there while the world was being made, and the world was being made through him. And something that, through a little bit of research that I've gained, I've learned that the world that he's speaking of isn't the earth itself, but it's the people. And this goes into verse 11 very well. He says, he came to his own, and his own people did not receive him. So this man, Jesus, awesome and powerful, comes to earth, and we reject him. He's like, you're not who you're talking about. We're expecting someone else. We're expecting this prophecy that they foretold, that you're going to be coming in on a white horse, charging forward and taking out all of our transgressors. But they didn't see the first coming that he had to come to. So that led to crucifying of Jesus, where he died on the cross for us. And that's not just the Jews who rejected him, but the Gentiles as well. Both sides, nobody had accepted him for who he was except for his close followers. And in verse 12, we have a very important word. It's the word but. And this is changing from where we're talking about him and his deity and him coming to earth and us rejecting him, to, though we rejected him, what he did for us afterwards. He says, but to all who did receive him and who believe in his name, he gave the right to become children of God, which is an amazing and astounding thing for us to see here. I mean, if we didn't receive him, we didn't believe him, there's not a lot of hope, is there? I mean, we live a worldly life, and then we die and we go to hell. But if we believe that Jesus died, rose again, and we receive him in our hearts, we get to go and be with the Father forever. We get to be with God in heaven. And in verse 13, on top of that, we get a calling out. He's calling us out for what we've done. He says, you weren't born into it. So no matter what your family did before you were here, or what status they're in, that's not going to change it. You're still going to hell. You're dying a sinner's death if you don't receive him and you don't believe him. And then he also goes on right after that, your flesh won't do it. So, the color of your skin's not going to change. If you were born in Europe, or you were born in Africa, or you were born in Asia, it doesn't matter. You are not better than anybody else, and nobody else is better than you, and you're still going to hell and die in there. And then the last thing that he says, nor the will of man. So no matter what you do, I'm going to be the best person on earth. I'm going to never cheat on my taxes. I'm going to give to tithe every Sunday. I'm going to be at every church function availability that they ever ask. I volunteered at everything. No, I'm sorry. You're still going to die. You're still going to go to hell. Because you didn't believe and receive Jesus into your heart. We have a few applications that we can take out of this. And though he could have just stopped it right there, end of the story, wipe us all out, he had grace to come back so that we can receive him and we can believe in him and we can go to heaven and be with him. And that's just an amazing and overarching just comfort. I pray that the Lord will use this to be able to show you comfort in his grace and love.